Started right away. I'm just going to jump in, give a quick company overview, and make sure everyone understands what it is that we do and why we're here today. We are a data storage appliance, a data storage company. The reason that we're presenting and the reason that Stephen thought that this was relevant to this audience is our latest release is all about integrating our management, our entire management framework into, into vSphere, so that virtualization admin can have a single pane of glass view over end-to-end from the entire infrastructure. So we'll go through that a little bit, but first I'll level set with just the company and who we are and where we came from. We build hybrid flash storage arrays. Things that sets us apart from the rest of the market is that our flash is deployed on the memory bus. So all of our flash is PCIe-based flash. It gives us a few advantages: lower latency, higher bandwidth. We can deal with larger workloads of traditional SSDs. The other thing that we've designed our software stack around is the concept of storage quality of service. And to us, that's not a feature as much as it's a management paradigm. We fully buy into the VMware storage policy-based management framework, and we see storage quality of service as applying not only to performance, but to things like data protection and other elements of the storage infrastructure as well. So you'll hear us talk a lot about that, and we've got some really neat things that allow end users to manage VM storage performance with this new release. A little bit of history. And I'll talk a lot about, one more thing, I'll talk a lot about VMware today because we're oriented around integration release with VMware, but we also support Citrix, Microsoft Hyper-V. Most of our customers, in fact, all of our customers run some sort of hypervisor on top of us, and 80% of them run some other, either another hypervisor or some other OS on us as well. So we're a general purpose storage array. We're not focused on one particular hypervisor or the other. But VMware does have a fairly sizable market share, so we do focus on that quite a bit. Just history in the company. So NexGen was founded by the original founders of Left Hand Networks, John Spires and Kelly Long. We got started in December of 2010. We released our first GA product in June of 2012. Then we were quickly acquired by Fusion.io in April of 2013 as they moved up the stack and tried to implement a system solutions type approach to the market, who then was acquired by SanDisk in 2014. When looking at the business, SanDisk, for a variety of reasons, thought the best path for growth for NexGen was to spin us out on our own so that we could really focus on a focused go-to-market model through the VAR channel, selling systems and solutions. So in January 2015, this year, we announced ourselves as a standalone company once again. The core team remains intact. All of the intellectual property that came along with the product came along with this standalone company. So we've been out and at it now for about 6 months. Any questions on the company? Okay, we'll move on. So just a little product background before we get into some of the announcements. That we sell, again, it's an appliance, starts with a 3U appliance. Because we run PCIe flash, we can run a lot heavier workloads on us. That PCIe backplane has a lot more bandwidth than a SAS SATA backplane, so that we can handle more VMs in the same footprint. And then, of course, we preserve the disk drive slots for what they were designed for, disk. That increases our capacity and drives down dollar per gig. To scale it, you just add additional PCIe flash devices. So we can scale performance by adding additional flash, and we scale capacity by adding additional disk shelves.
What's the interconnect between the shelves? Is it PCIe?
The interconnect between the shelves is actually SAS SATA, but it's removed from the initial data path. So the way data comes into our system, it all hits the memory bus first, gets stored in flash, it's mirrored, we acknowledge back, and then our storage quality of service starts making decisions about what should stay in and what should go down to disk.
And that's on a per shelf basis then?
No, it's one logical pool.
Okay,
it's all one logical pool.
Okay. There's some controllers in there somewhere.
Yeah, there's a SAS SATA controller for the disk drives, and then, of course, all of our software runs in user space, and that's what's really controlling the initial data path and how the other devices get managed.
Cool, thank you.
And then with quality of service, what this is really about is solving a problem with any hybrid architecture or any architecture with multiple types of media. Storage quality of service is really about understanding how much performance does an application need? What is its priority for a given customer? And then it uses intelligence and looks at every I/O coming in the system and says, where should this block be? Should it be in flash? Should it be in disk? So that I can achieve my application SLAs from a workload performance perspective. So really it's just sorting out higher priority, lower priority data and hitting performance targets on an application by application basis and leveraging both flash and disk in the system to do that. Everything's targeted at what we call the small to medium enterprise market. So quality of service can be a very complex topic. And with some new things that VMware is doing with vSphere 6, specifically vVols, the number of objects in these that you have to manage is going to proliferate. We've tried to simplify quality of service down into a very concise, simple policy-based system. So from an end user perspective, you just look at an application and say, this is mission critical, I want it to go this fast, and you choose one of 5 policies in our system to set the performance. Those are all categorized by priority, mission critical, business critical, non-critical. Mission critical will always get the most consistent performance. Non-critical will be the least consistent performance.
Those are just 3 presets. You can't change those, or
there's 5 presets that are categorized into those 3 categories. So you get mission critical as 1 policy, business critical as 2 policies, a fast and a slow, and non-critical as 2, a fast and a slow. And there's
no way to tune that based on application or anything like that. So like if I have like 3 applications that are business critical, but one really needs to be above the others, I can't go in and say, yeah, this one should be first above all else.
That's why there's 2 policies, and so you would put the one in the fast policy and the other 2 below that. We can tune it from the back end and customize those policies, but we haven't exposed that. What we found is a lot of our users want that simplicity, and it's more of an experimentation where they'll start with a certain deployment of their applications and then adjust on the fly, and it's just very simple to change policies on the fly. We have some demonstration of that later on.
And then do those policies have certain guarantees, like 1 millisecond SLAs or 1 microsecond SLAs?
That's correct. Each one of them has different performance targets associated with IOPS, bandwidth, and latency. Yeah. Okay, an important trend to factor in. We are a storage company, so we pay a lot of attention to what's going on in the hardware world. You look at some of the major component vendors. When Flash came out, John and Kelly, our founders, recognized immediately that the existing disk drive infrastructure wasn't optimized around Flash. That initiated NexGen to design an entire data path around Flash on the memory bus. That was back in 2010. We're finally starting to see the industry move to this PCIe NVMe approach, where you see Intel headed in that direction, Samsung headed in that direction. This is exactly what NexGen was designed to tap into. Flash on the memory bus makes a lot more sense than Flash behind a disk drive controller. It affords a lot more bandwidth, a lot lower latency, and it gives customers the ability to tap the true potential that Flash can allow. So again, the thing that separates NexGen from a lot of the other hybrids, it's PCIe that affords us superior economics and value, and storage quality of service that delivers that predictable application performance.